After years of suffering, Bas Tui Hung's mother, who once caused Hoai Ca's tragedy, returns with a shocking decision. But is she truly regretful? Or is there something she's still hiding? The untold story, the secrets behind these acts of mercy will keep you on the edge of your seat. Join us as we uncover the truth behind this decision, where the past and present intertwine in a dangerous game. The meeting between Tuan and Bak Tui was a deeply emotional moment, opening a new chapter in both of their lives. After being granted mercy, Bak Tui, a woman who had once made a grave mistake, was now starting over with Tuan's help. In the warm and cozy space, Tuan gently invited her to sit and rest, offering her a drink. It was a small gesture, but one filled with deep compassion. Tuan wasn't in a rush. He patiently listened to every word Bak Tui said, even though he knew she carried sadness and anxiety about the future. As she sipped the water, Bak Tui couldn't hide her emotions. She thanked Tuan for always standing by her, but she couldn't help but wonder if she truly deserved such trust. Tuan, with a calm expression, softly reminded her that life is a series of choices, and what mattered most was knowing how to change and start fresh. Although Tuan's comforting words couldn't completely erase the anxiety in Bak Tui's heart, she could feel the sincerity in everything he said. She wondered if she could become a good citizen, if she could stand up and rebuild her life. Tuan replied firmly, saying that as long as she made the effort to live well, people would eventually change how they saw her. There was no need to worry about the judgment of strangers or what others said. Just live with integrity and change would come. Bak Tui couldn't help but feel moved as she realized that in this world full of doubts, Tuan was the only one who still believed in her. His kindness, patience, and unconditional trust made her feel as though she had been saved. But what touched Bak Tui even more was the simplicity in the way Tuan helped her. He wasn't seeking anything in return. He was simply acting from the heart. The conversation gradually shifted to other matters as Bak Tui expressed her desire to visit Tuna and Tuman, the people who had helped her during her difficult times. Tuan, knowing that there might be a bit of an obstacle since Tuman hadn't returned yet, still agreed to accompany her. He understood that these relationships weren't just about receiving help, but about connecting with kind-hearted people. With a grateful expression, Bak Tui shared that Tuman had been the one who saved her life during the accident. Because of this, she missed the two of them and wanted to see them again. Despite his concerns about the time, Tuan agreed to help Bak Tui fulfill this wish. In the end, despite a bit of worry, Bak Tui decided not to wait any longer, and Tuan led her on their journey. The scene of the conversation between the two, from when Tuan invited Bak Tui to sit and rest until he decided to take her to visit Tiu Na, and Tuman reflects a profound shift in Bak Tui's spirit. Her decisions, her worries, and Tuan's emotions all come together in a journey that's not just about material help, but also about spiritual healing. In the peaceful setting of the house, Tuan and Bak Tui waited for Tuman's return, both feeling anxious and hopeful. Bak Tui looked around at the newly renovated home, which was now so much more comfortable than before. Everything in Tuman's life seemed stable now, but Bak Tui couldn't shake her worries about the things that were still incomplete, especially the need for essential items. Tuan patiently reassured her that there was no need to trouble herself, and she could handle things on her own. The conversation shifted to her son, and she asked about his situation. Tuan told her that her son had returned to his hometown, settled down, and recently traveled abroad. Bak Tui felt both happy that her son was doing well and sad that she couldn't see him again. Tuan comforted her, assuring her that once she was more settled, he would arrange for them to meet. Although feeling a bit down, Bak Tui still trusted Tuan and his support. Meanwhile, Tuan could sense the change in her heart and knew that he was doing the right thing. While the future remained uncertain, they sat together waiting for Tuman's return, moving forward in their journey, filled with hope and faith in the possibility of change. Tuman came home after a long day at work. She saw Bak Tui, who had returned after being granted mercy, and was immediately surprised. Though it had been a while since they last met, Tuman quickly struck up a warm conversation with Bak Tui, asking how she was and how life had been for her after everything that had happened. With a warm look in her eyes, Bak Tui shared that she missed Tuman and her child, but she didn't want to be a burden to them. The conversation gradually shifted to Bak Tui's situation. She mentioned that Tuan had rented a small house for her so that she wouldn't bother Tuman and her family. Still, Bak Tui wasn't quite used to her new life and expressed her desire to stay a little longer to adjust to everything. Tuan, always ready to support, reassured her not to worry too much, and when she was ready, she'd be able to take care of herself. Bak Tui hesitated, but eventually agreed. Tuan promised to help her get settled, and occasionally he would bring Chu Na to visit. The conversation also touched on Chu Na's life, how the little one was growing up and starting to say her first words. Bak Tui felt comforted hearing about the progress of the child, and though she couldn't be close to her, she still felt the love. When Tuman invited them to stay for dinner, Bak Tui declined, saying that food didn't matter as much as just being able to see each other again. Tuan quickly understood that he had more work to do, and even though he would have liked to stay for dinner, he had to take care of business and get Bak Tui home. Before leaving, Tuan promised that he would visit Tuman and Tu Na on the weekend when Tu Na had time off from school so they could have a meal together and strengthen their bond. Before they left, Bak Tui thanked Tuan for always being there for her, and she felt the warmth from Tuman's family. Even though life wasn't easy, the care, attention, and simple conversations like today were a great source of encouragement for her. Her heart felt lighter, no longer burdened by worries about the future. She didn't know what would come next, but at least she knew she wasn't alone in this life. As Tuan and Bak Tui were about to leave, Tio Man bid them farewell with a kind reminder to take care of her health and to find stability in life soon. Her words felt like a promise of a hopeful future where each person could find their place. Although challenges still lay ahead, in that moment, everyone felt confident and no longer had to face the trials of life alone.